Have you been struggling to flirt with guys while still getting them to chase you? Does it feel like every time you make a move on a guy you actually want, you end up pursuing him instead and now he's uninterested in you? Well, this information is going to change all of that. Because on today's show, we're going to be discussing how to flirt to get men chasing you. That way, you can attract the guys you actually want while still receiving the princess treatment that you've always dreamed of. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating. We're going to have a lot of fun today on today's show, okay? Yesterday was a little bit sadder. I was more serious, but today we're going to have some fun. We're talking about flirting. We're talking about body language. We're talking about how you can get those guys interested in you in person. Okay. Enlightened Ace over here in the YouTube chat. Of course, we got the one and only Missy America holding down the YouTube chat as our moderator as well. We got Jazz as well. We got Rare Hair. I see Adriana, Tina. I see Ezra. I see Sweet as well. Amber's here. India's here. Okay. Over in the TikTok chat, we got, I believe SH is here. We got BBQ as well. We got Scotty. Who else we got here? Let me scroll up. We got Tiana. We got SH is here. We got Jennifer and lots more in the chat. Welcome all you beautiful people. Okay, Kayla T's here. Jennifer. Okay, all of you are here. Okay, I like seeing all of you. I remember all these names. Okay, so let's get started today, and we'll discuss along the way. Okay, today we're gonna have some fun. So first things first, we have to discuss eye contact. The reason eye contact is here before anything else, and we all need to come to an understanding of eye contact and why it's so important, is because for you, you're a woman, okay? I'm man, you woman, okay? Now, it's very important that we discuss eye contact because this is going to be the key to unlocking everything that you're doing, okay? What I mean by that is you're not going to be the one coming up to guys. God forbid you go up to guys, okay? We are not doing that. That's done. That's cut off. That's ended. We've ended that. Now that you've entered the Players Club, you don't go up to guys anymore. That's not how you rock, okay? I don't care if he's drop dead gorgeous. I don't care if he's the most beautiful, handsome man you've ever met in your entire life, okay? You don't go up to that man. Why? Because remember everything that we discussed before about relationships and dynamics, you need to set the precedent that yes, you're interested in me. Yes, I may be interested in you. Or another one of these 100 guys who are also interested in me, do backflips for me and let me see if your backflips impress me enough that I would choose you, okay? You need to turn the guys that want you into pick-meshas, where they're essentially saying, hey, what must I do in order for you to pick me, in order for you to want to be with me instead of any one of these other guys? I'm not saying that because I want you to degrade the guys you're with. I'm saying that because that is the dynamic that you want. If you want to receive respect, if you want to receive princess treatment, if you want to receive all the things you've ever dreamed of since you were a little girl, you're going to have to get guys in a position where they're seeking your approval and they're trying to figure out how they can put their best foot forward in order to get access to you. Okay, right? So very important when we're talking about eye contact. This is the reason why I say eye contact is so vital to everything that you're doing, because you're not going to be talking to guys. Sorry, you're not going to be going up to guys. You're not going to be the one trying to court them. You're not going to be the one trying to strike this conversation with them. However, there is a process of helping them and guiding them along the way and helping them understand that you may have some interest in them. It's not enough for them to guarantee it, but it's enough for them to explore the idea to see if you are actually interested in them and want to get to know more about you, okay? It's never about giving guys so much that they're completely 100% sure exactly how you feel. It's about giving them just enough that they're on the fence about it and they feel like if they push, if they try harder, if they put their best foot forward, then maybe they'll get a for sure answer, okay? It's like the guy who's in the flower bloom and he's picking daisies and he's saying, she loves me not. She loves me not. Guys love to be in agony over a girl they actually like, okay? That's natural. When a girl comes across that he actually likes and he's actually interested in, he's usually in agony because he spends all his time thinking about her and how to please her. The girls that he doesn't like, and that for some of you, that's you, the girls that he doesn't like or the girls that he doesn't find that interesting, he spends no time thinking about what she wants or how she feels, because it's very clear and obvious to him what she thinks and what she feels. Okay, so he's not in the flower bloom saying, she loves me not. She loves me not. He's just at his house playing video games saying, I don't even need to bother texting her back because she already is obsessed with me. And if I don't text her back after the first 2 minutes, she'll be crying and she'll have a whole breakdown because she can't live without me. Okay, so the reason we're discussing eye contact, like I said before, now, eye contact for you is going to be very specific. There's a lot of do's, but there's also a lot of don'ts when it comes to eye contact, okay? So when you're making eye contact with guys, let's imagine you're at a party, okay? I'm going to base a lot of this around like party clubs because I know a lot of you are in places like that. Let's just say a social gathering, okay? So let's say you're at a party. When you're making and you see a guy that you really like, you really find is very interesting. He's got a good look. He dresses nice. You like his style. He's cleanly. He doesn't have nut stains all over his pants. He looks like someone you might be interested in. So you're going to make eye contact with him, not go up to him. You're going to make eye contact with him from across the room. Okay, so very important. We're going to talk about line of sight in a second. But you're going to align yourself in a way where you can make eye contact with him and you're going to face his direction so that you can start looking at him and gauging to see if he's looking back at you. Okay. Now, I need to preface what I'm going to say about eye contact with the fact that eye contact is probably not going to work very well with the super shy guy, soy boy, who's going to sit in the corner, not look at anyone and not want to talk to anyone. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right off the rip, because I know some of you are thinking to yourself, well, how can I use eye contact to attract a guy who's super shy, who doesn't even want to talk, who doesn't even want to come up to me, who doesn't have any courage, who isn't bold, who wouldn't want to talk, who doesn't know how to chat, who only plays video games and only sits down in the corner with his drink in his hand looking down. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but we're not going to be able to come up with the strategy to attract a guy who can't even take initiative to go after the girls and the things that he wants. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't make a strategy for you for that. Okay, we're making a strategy for you for guys who have at least enough confidence that if they see you, they like you, they pursue you. Because the reality of it is, if you want princess treatment, I'm sorry to tell you and burst your bubble, you're not going to get that from a super shy guy who can't even utter words to a female. Okay, that's not going to come from a super shy guy who is too nervous to say anything to you. Okay, you're only going to get princess treatment from a man who actually knows how to pursue the things that he wants, and you want to be pursued, correct? I'm assuming you're here because you want to be pursued and you want to be chased. Unfortunately, the super shy guys who are way too nervous to say words to you and can only Snapchat you or talk to you through message and not actually say anything in person when they see you, those guys are not going to be the ones we're trying to attract here. So if you like the super shy guys that are too nervous to say words to you, this probably isn't the room for you. Okay? Because I know some of you are going to be saying that right off the bat. But this won't work on the shy guy. This won't work on the super quiet guy because I know shy guys won't come up to me. I know shy guys won't say anything to me even if he likes me. Well, what's the rest of your relationship going to be like? If he can't even say words to you when he's interested in you, if he can't even come up to you and try to strike a conversation with you because he likes you, what is the actual purpose then? How are you supposed to receive princess treatment from that guy? Okay. Toe says no guy is too shy for who he wants. Exactly. That's actually what I want you to believe that. Okay. Because if a guy is so shy that he literally cannot get up out of his chair and go speak to a woman he finds interesting, attractive, fascinating, that's not even man. I said that's not even man. That's not even a man. Okay. That's a boy. Okay. Leave the boys alone. You're not trying to attract more boys. Okay. You're trying to attract men of all different personalities and character traits. Whether you want to consider him shy or not, he at least needs to have the confidence and the courage to come up to a woman he finds attractive and interesting. Okay. Right. Jack says, I love shy guys who push themselves out of their comfort zone. a quote unquote shy guy can still come up to you and have the courage and confidence to come up to you. Okay. I don't want you to think that all different types of personality traits won't come up to a woman they're attracted to. But I do want you to understand there's a difference between him just being like a quiet, unassuming guy that can come up to a girl that he really likes versus a guy who literally doesn't have the courage to even get up out of his chair and go talk to a woman that he finds interesting. Okay. So eye contact, very important. Now, when you're making eye contact with guys, okay, it's going to sound very funny, but when you're making eye contact with guys, one of the main things I do not want you to be doing, because some of you do this and it comes across very weird. I know this because I've experienced this. Okay. You're making eye contact. You need to present yourself as making eye contact intentionally. Okay. You cannot confuse him by making this eye contact as if you made it accidentally. So when you're making eye contact, I want you to, this is the game, okay? This is flirting, but this is the game, okay? When you're making eye contact, I want you to basically, it's like you're at a stick up, okay? And when you're at the stick up, you're trying to see who's gonna draw the weapon first. So, but in this sense, you're trying to see who's gonna be you're basically trying to assert your dominance. This is weird. This sounds weird. Sounds funny. You're going to assert your dominance by holding the eye contact longer than he can. And you're going to force him to break eye contact before you do. That way he knows you're intentionally looking at him because that's what you want, not because you just got confused and you just looked up and you're looking in this corner and then you saw something and then you looked away. Okay. I want you to look at him with confidence. Okay. And the way you communicate confidence is not by looking and then you're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to see you there. I didn't mean to connect eyes with you. I want you to look and I want you to actually linger. Okay. And I want you to actually let him know I'm confident enough to know I'm a bad B, and I'm a bad B, and I sees you and I likes you. Now I'm not gonna come up to you, but I sees you and I likes you. Okay? You want him to subconsciously feel that energy from you, because someone who's willing to look at you and acknowledge that yes, I'm looking at you. What's the problem? Is someone that actually has enough confidence within themselves that they're not shaken. You're not, even as a woman, you don't want to present yourself as so unconfident that, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to connect eyes with you. That's my bad, right? Okay, you want to come across as confidence, right? You want to come across as I know what I like and I actually see you and I like some things about you. Now, you don't have to come out and say that, and I don't want you to come out and say that, but I want you to let him feel that. This is part of the balancing act, because this is the first initial feeling he's going to get from you, and we're going to balance this later on with some words and actions that you're going to take when he finally comes up to you that contradict that, so that in his mind, he can be saying, she loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. So this will be the first part where he's thinking, oh, I think she loves me. I think she's into me. I think she likes me, right? You understand? You want him to feel that, okay? Now, this is why I say there's do's and there's don'ts, okay? One of the don'ts, it's going to sound funny. I do not want you like this. You're holding your cup in your hand and you're standing there and your eyes are wide open and you're like this. Just standing there. The music's going and everyone's dancing around you and you're looking at him like this. I'm saying that because I know that actually happens, okay? And I've actually experienced that, okay? That's weird. Don't do that, okay? Because I know some of you guys, when you listen to my advice, you're writing it down in your notebook and you're thinking about how to do it exactly like I say. So I want to make sure we talk about the don'ts so that you don't make the mistake of thinking, I'm being so confident. I'm being as confident as I possibly can. Can you see my pupils? Can you see my pupils? It's weird. Okay, it's weird, right? And it's too strong. Okay, you still want to be feminine while you do this. You're going to be feminine but confident. Okay, there's a way to balance this. Remember, I always tell you guys, it's all about balance. Okay, you're going to be feminine but confident. So you're not going to be creepy by having your eyes wide open, not dancing, not enjoying yourself, just staring at him until he sees you. Okay, that's weird. But what you want to be doing is when you're making this eye contact, make it subtle in the process of you doing other things, whether it be grabbing a drink, okay, from the bar or wherever you're at, or dancing with your friends. And then the way you turn, you just happen to look and you see, connect eyes with him. And then you linger while you're kind of still dancing, kind of still having conversation, kind of still laughing. And then you kind of go back to what you're doing. Okay. It's got to be in the midst of this. Now, I know when I say this, for some of you who aren't eye contact pros like me, this is going to sound like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm able to do this. This sounds really hard. This sounds really complicated. As you begin to practice this, okay, you're going to get better at doing this subtly. Okay. This is something even myself, I had to learn how to do and master over time, how to enjoy myself. You know the person that you're trying to attract. You enjoy yourself in the process, and you're kind of looking over while you're enjoying yourself, and then you catch a glimpse, and then it's about 3 to 5 seconds of eye contact, then you go back to doing what you're doing. And there's a back and forth that's going to happen multiple times throughout the party or throughout the event or throughout the social gathering before the actual meetup, okay? I'm just going to tell you this is how it is, okay? So this is going to happen multiple times. Don't just think that it's one time it happens and then he's going to come up to you and then it's going to be done. This is going to happen multiple times. You're going to kind of play this ballerina game. It's like a dance, okay? It's like a dance of the emotions and the feelings where you're connecting energies and you're sending signals to each other back and forth while this thing is going on, okay? It's very magical. Once you can get the hang of it, you'll know exactly how to do it in a way that's not creepy and in a way that attracts men to you, okay? It's actually really powerful, okay? And so, like I said, you don't want to be standing and staring with your eyes wide open, but you want to be doing this in a feminine way where he's sure that you're confident, like you're holding that eye contact, not just looking casually scanning the room and then you're kind of looking somewhere else that he's not sure if you're looking at him. You want him to feel like, oh, she's looking at me. She's seeing me to the point where, right, you're looking at him. And if his boys were looking or seeing you at the time when you're looking at him, his boys will even say, yo, I think she's looking at you, bro. I think she wants you, right? You want it to feel that obvious, not creepy, but you want it to feel that obvious, okay? Why? Because a lot of guys are, some of them I'll say, are stunted where they can't pick up on that subtleness. Okay, so you need to be a little bit above subtle, just enough that him or his friends could notice, yo, I think she's looking at you. I'm almost positive she's looking at you. And then once it happens once, twice, 3 times, then he becomes confident. No, she's 100% looking at me. Now he's starting to think to himself, okay, I kind of like her. Okay, I'm going to have to go up to her. I'm going to have to say something to her. And you're basically encouraging him through the eye contact. Hey, you can come up to me. Hey, it's okay. Hey, I actually think you're interesting. I'd be open to having a conversation with you without you having to go up to him, okay? Because remember, you're still trying to keep him on the chase while giving him the space, right? And the understanding that, hey, there's runway here for you to come and you to get access to me, okay? You're not trying to make it seem like you're completely uninterested because he won't come up to you, but you also don't want to make it seem creepy and so up in his face, okay? You still want to allow him to have the choice to make himself feel like, oh, I like her and I want her. I'm going to go get her. Okay. So eye contact, very important. And that's number 1. Now, number 2, we're going to discuss line of sight. So this is now you've made the first a couple bits of eye contact and you're going to be now being a little bit more strategic about line of sight. That way, he can be sure you're looking at him and he can kind of feel your strong presence, especially going by him. Okay. So for example, if you and this guy are at a party or at an event, and let's say he's standing in the way of you going from where you are at the bar to going to the bathroom, right? Then what I want you to do is throughout the process of the night, I want you to actually purposely go to the bathroom knowing that you're going to walk by him, right? You're putting yourself in his line of sight and getting a little closer than just being across the room. Now, I want you to be very strategic about when you go past his line of sight, right? And you get a little bit closer to him. I actually want you, when you go past this line of sight, I want you to catch a glimpse of him. And I promise you, this is where you become a pro. Because I promise you, if he's interested in you, when he sees you walk by, he's going to notice you walking by. And I want you to already be prepared for him to notice you walking by. When he looks at you, you look at him and you let him see you're right in the line of sight. And then you walk by and you go, you're gone again like a ghost. Okay? And I want you to be strategic about putting yourself directly in his line of sight, close to him in his line of sight throughout this event, throughout this social gathering. This is what's going to really start heating things up. You're going to start feeling, I'm telling you the truth, okay? Because I'm an eye contact pro, eye contact pro, okay? That's why I'm sharing this information with you. You're going to start feeling it in your heart right here. Your heart's going to start fluttering because you're going to feel the feeling of knowing, oh yeah, you see me, I see you, we're seeing each other. There's some sort of connection here. And you're going to feel it building as this continues to happen. Okay, so as time is going on, I want you to put yourself in his line of sight directly by walking past him. Just go and do whatever needs to go. If you need to get a drink and it's over in that direction where you have to walk past him, if you want to go talk to a friend and it's over in that direction to walk past him, do whatever you need to do to put yourself closer past his line of sight. Right. And then when you're putting yourself closer past his line of sight, then you catch that look. He sees you, seeing him, seeing you, seeing him. And then you walk away. Okay. Right. And you'll both feel it. If you're doing it correctly, you'll both feel it. And you'll feel it especially in your here and probably a little bit in your here. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. I seen someone earlier say, but Tomisin, when they look at me, I look away because I have anxiety. Here's the thing, okay? I know that some of you guys are really shy girls, okay? There's nothing wrong with being a shy girl. But I need you to understand that if you want guys, especially when we're talking about in person, because this is what we're talking about, flirting in person, you really need to make sure that you're doing the job for them and letting them know that you're inviting them in, okay? That if you are really that interested in me, sure, come and talk to me, right? And that is the subconscious invitation that, yes, you can approach me. So if you're so shy that you're looking away from all the guys will be confused on whether they should approach you or not. And that's the problem. See, that's actually part of the reason why some of you are in situations where you feel like you rarely ever get approached, because you're not giving off any signals to the guys that you actually like that you want to be approached by them. So they're confused and they don't know what to do, right? Because you have to understand, yes, there's some guys who are super confident and they're supremely confident and they go after whoever they want. They don't even need a signal. But there's a lot of guys who are confident, but they still need that signal. They still need that push. They still need to feel like, oh, you actually are interested in me too. So if I go up to you, I won't just get rejected. And as soon as you give them that signal, then they know, okay, this is my chance to take my chance. Okay. So this is why I say it's kind of a cat and mouse game, and it's a balancing act. As you continue, this is not something that's going to work right overnight. You have to grow your skills in this and get better at this. And then eventually you'll become like me. You'll become an eye contact pro, and you'll be able to attract the guys that you want. Even though you want them, you'll be attracting them to you instead of you feeling like you have to go up to them. Because the problem is, I know some of you, like I said, are really shy girls and you have problems holding that eye contact. Right? But the problem is, if you're so shy to the point where you don't know how to hold eye contact and you don't know how to invite guys in with just your eyes and the way that you look at them, then you're going to be forced to be in a position where any guy that you like, you're going to have to go up to him. And by the time you go up to him to strike the conversation with him and you tell him, hey, I think you're cute, which is one of the things on the do not do list. But by the time you go up to him and do all that, you've already set the precedent that you're going to be the one chasing and pursuing. You might as well buy him a drink at that point. Okay, you might as well hold his hand and give him a kiss on the forehead at that point, because you're the man. Okay, we don't want you doing that. We don't want you approaching guys, but we also want you to be able to get guys that you actually want, not just dumpster fires of men. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Okay, so line of sight, very important. Okay, line of sight, you're also going to be not just in the walking by, you're also going to be strategic about, see, this is the thing. I'm not a drinker anymore. Okay. I used to be a drinker. Now I don't drink. I stopped drinking like 2 years ago. I still go out. I still have fun. Okay. That I'm not no fun zone. I still love to have fun. But what I've noticed about being sober is I can strategize my night a lot more when I'm sober. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go sober and you have to be like me. You can do whatever you want that makes you feel comfortable. But what I will say is if you are of a clearer mind, you'll be able to be more strategic when you go out with putting yourself in the line of sight of guys where you make it even easier for them to approach you, even in the sense of being able to move your group, right, of friends in an area, right, innocently move them in an area where you're a little bit more accessible to the guy who you're making eye contact with. It's very, very sneaky, very strategic, but I promise you'll see a lot of results that way. Okay. And all you're doing is, see, this is part of joining the Players Club. This is actually one of the fun parts about joining the Players Club. Is that, yes, we talk about manipulation to get guys to treat you how you want to be treated and get what you want and stuff like that. But it's also an understanding that really getting what you want is actually about planting seeds and allowing those seeds to organically grow in people into ideas and thoughts and actions that are in line with what you wanted them to do in the first place. But they feel good about it because they feel like that's exactly what they wanted to do. They don't realize that you strategically planted that seed that grew in them and became whatever it is that they ended up doing. Okay. But it's magical because you'll realize that the superpower is not telling people what you want them to do. The superpower is understanding the strategy and how to get what you want out of people by making them feel as if they're doing exactly what they want to do. Okay, so Rebecca says, how do we plant these seeds? So this is part of what I'm talking about in the strategy of planting seeds, right? When you're putting yourself in the line of sight of a guy, right? And you're making it easier to approach you after you've already made eye contact with him. He's thinking in his mind, oh, she's right there. She's right at the bar. There's nobody in between me. She doesn't look like she's being bothered by anyone or in a deep conversation. She's in a perfect place for me to approach her. This is all increasing his own confidence and his own feeling of success rate. If he were to approach you, he feels like this is the time. Okay, but he feels like that because of how you strategically put things in place. You planted a seed, and the seed was, hey, I'm in a place where I'm available to be approached, and it's very easy to approach me. And he's saying in his mind, well, this looks like the perfect opportunity for me. I'm going to take it. And he's thinking he's taking the opportunity because it's magic or because it's destiny, whatever he wants to believe in. But it's really because you were strategic about getting what you want and attracting the guys that you actually like. Okay. That's the secret. We're going to keep it a secret. Okay. There's a strategy to everything. Right. Someone said in the Sammy says, it's like when you give a kid 2 options of shirts to wear, makes them feel like they had a choice. Exactly. Especially if you strategically put stains on one shirt and make one shirt all crumpled up and wrinkly and look horrible. And then you make the other shirt look really nice and really clean and really taken care of. And then you present it to him last. That's another one of those things. This is like psychology. It's kind of like a side note. But when you put things last, that's usually the thing that someone remembers the most because it's the last thing that they saw. So even in strategy, when you give people a choice, you can make it feel like a choice, even though you're actually leading them in a particular direction. Okay. In the Players Club, we obviously are going to talk a lot about psychology because psychology has a lot to do with relationships. Okay. I'm not a psychologist, but there's still psychology in relationships. All right. So line of sight was number 2. Eye contact was number 1. Okay. So now number 3, we're going to call it let him lead. Okay. So what I mean by let him lead is when a guy actually finally comes up to you. Let's say you've now put yourself in the line of sight. You guys have been making eye contact. He's like, yo, it's now or never. I got to come up to her, look at her dump truck. Oh my God, her butt is spilling out of her pants. I can't believe how big her dump truck is. I can't believe how voluptuous she is. I need to go see her and get access to her. Now he's come up to you. Okay. And this is where I want you to be very careful. Okay. I want you to be very, very careful here. I know you're excited that the guy who likes you finally came up to you, okay? And I know that is riveting, that you actually got this strategy to work. Because when you do this strategy and it actually works, you're going to feel shocked that it worked that well, okay? I'm going to be real with you. Now, I don't want you getting so hyper excited that by the time he walks over to you, you're like, I think you're so cute. I think you're the hottest guy I've ever met. I can't even believe that you approached me. It's like a dream come true that you would approach. Like, thank you so much for approaching me. I was looking at you the entire time. The entire time that since I walked into the party, I was just looking in your direction, hoping and praying that you would come up to me. And literally my prayers have been answered by the Lord. He has literally answered my prayers that you have come up to me. I'm so thankful and so grateful that you have come. I don't want you freaking out. Okay? You're literally going to ruin everything that you worked for if you freak out. You can freak out on the inside. I want you to stay calm and collected on the outside. I actually want you to seem slightly disinterested on the outside. Okay? I know this is going to sound very weird. You're going to be like, but I just did all that work to make him feel like I was interested in him. Now he comes up to me. I'm going to look like I'm slightly disinterested. That makes no sense. Yes. That's exactly what you're going to do. Okay? This is actually how you flirt. Because flirting is not about making him feel like you're super, super interested all the time, 24/7. It's also about contrasting that with making him feel like, are you not that interested? Do I still have to work for your interest, right? Now, what is he doing? He's picking daisies. She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not, right? And that agony, right? That brain and thought power that is required to really decide in his mind and think to himself, well, does she like me? Does she want me? Or do I have to do more? Is she that interested in me, or is she not that interested in me? Did I misread the situation? Do I have to say something more? Do I have to be more interesting, right? That dance, right, puts even more of his focus and energy directly and solely on you. Right? And now, because he's going back and forth in his own mind about you, he literally cannot think about anyone else. He can't think about anything else. He's just trying to figure you out. That's why we love puzzles as human beings, okay? If the puzzle came already done and all the pieces were together and they told you exactly where to put everything and they numbered it and they lettered it and everything was easy, it wouldn't be a puzzle and it wouldn't be interesting, okay? Your brain and thought power loves to focus on trying to figure things out. Same thing for men. And you can become the object of a puzzle that he's trying to figure out. And when he's trying to figure you out, even more of his thought and brain power and focus will be on you, okay, than all the other girls who aren't doing this, right? So you want to let him lead. Now, specifically what I mean by letting him lead, when he comes up to you, I want you to stay calm. And since he's approached you, this is why it's so powerful to do it this way. Once he's approached you, he's acknowledged that I want you and I'm interested in you. Because of my interest in you, I've actually gotten up out of my chair and I've come talk to you, right? That's good. You want him in a position like that. Now, in him approaching you, he's acknowledged that he was willing to pursue you. Keep him there. So what I mean by that is once he comes up to you, he's now obligated to strike conversation. He's obligated to try to make this interesting because you didn't come up to him. You didn't ask him for to what he wants or if he thinks you're interesting or anything like that. You didn't ask anything of him. He's the one that chose to come up to you. So now it becomes the onus on him to make this conversation interesting. Now he's going to be asking you a question. What's your name? Where are you from? How old are you? Where do you work? Oh, I love your dump truck. I love your outfit. I love your yitties. Your smile is so beautiful. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. You're so tan. You're so gorgeous. You're so whatever. Okay? He's going to compliment you. He's going to ask you things about you. He's going to ask you things about your friends. He's going to ask you how long you've been here. Things like that, right? He's going to ask you questions. He's going to try and make this conversation interesting. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I want you, in this case, to let him lead. You're going to let him lead this first part where he is the one basically going after you. Keep him there. Don't be talking about, hey, I think you're so interesting. I think you're so awesome. And I was so happy when you finally came up to me. Okay. Someone said earlier, they were like, that's fan behavior. Yes. You don't want to seem like a fan. And I don't want you to seem like you're super excited that he finally came up to you. I want you to make it feel like this is regular, everyday type of stuff. Okay? Because then he's going to feel like that and he's going to be like, damn, maybe I'm not like as magical as I thought. I thought I was super special when we were sharing that eye contact. But now that I'm coming up to her, I'm going to have to like actually work for this. I'm going to actually have to make this interesting. I'm going to actually have to put some effort in here and to get her number. It's not just going to be that easy. Okay? You want him to be thinking that in his mind as he's speaking to you. Okay? right? So you let him lead that first part of that conversation. So number one, we talked about eye contact, line of sight, let him lead. Now, number four, we're going to discuss body language. Okay. So this is in the process of him talking to you and speaking to you, right? Now, the reason body language is so important is because while he's going to be the one leading and asking you these questions, right? I want you, when you're kind of going back and forth in conversation, okay, you're going to transition from him just leading and only asking questions. This is going to be like a five-minute thing, okay? And you're going to sort of transition into showing a little bit of interest in him, not by telling him how gorgeous he is or how handsome he is, but just by showing some interest in things about him as well. So you're going to start asking him questions. Remember, I don't want you talking solely too much about yourself. And even when he asks you questions, you're never going to be trauma dumping. Okay. Never, ever, 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 ever. Actually, let me put that as one of the don'ts when we're talking about letting him lead. Because in the process of letting him lead, he's going to be asking you questions. You're going to be vague with your answers. And I don't want you trauma dumping. Don't start talking about anything deep or anything really close to your heart. This is not trauma dump time, okay? You want him to trauma dump. You don't want to be trauma dumping on him. That's not that time. So with your answers, be as vague as possible while still being efficient with your answers and answering those questions, okay? As much as you can. Try not to say, oh, I don't want to talk about that, or that's something I don't feel comfortable talking about, right? Keep it interesting, keep the conversation flowing. Don't just end it like that by saying that. But I still want you to not be trauma dumping on him and not be talking about stuff that's super deep or super traumatic to you, that is a traumatic memory or experience right then and there. Okay. I don't want you doing that. Okay. So, but body language is very important because as you transition to showing some interest in him, I want him to start feeling that in the way that you take interest through your body language in what he's saying and how he's talking to you. Even when he's asking you questions, I want you to start transitioning as the conversation is going on. This is going to sound complicated, but once again, as you go on in life, you'll get the hang of it. I want you to make him feel like when he came up to talk to you, he started from zero. And as he began to show more interest in you, and as he began to open his mouth, he became more interesting to you, and he started to grow his levels. And as he grew his levels, so did your interest in him subsequently grew as well. So this is why I say body language is very important, because as he begins talking to you more and the conversation is going on for longer and longer and longer, you can make him feel like your interest is growing in him through your body language. Are you following me so far? I know this is very detailed and very structured, but this will actually work for you. Okay, because this is the feeling you're trying to make him feel. You're trying to make him feel like what he's doing is working. So as he's pursuing, his pursuit is actually making this situation better, is actually making you more interested in him. Okay, is actually making him get further along with you. And so what does that do subconsciously? It encourages him to continue pursuing. Okay, it shows him that that the fact that he is doing the right thing and pursuing you the right way is going to increase your interest in him, and he's feeling that through your body language. So the way that you're looking into his eyes when he's talking, the way that you're smiling and laughing at what he's saying, maybe the way you start to touch his arm when you're laughing and things like that, right? These are all subtle hints that even if he can't put his finger on it, he can start to feel it in his mind. Okay. I never listen to me. I want you to be communicating that you like him through your body language and never through your words. So even if he says, I seen you looking at me, you must have thought I was cute, I don't want you to acknowledge that. Okay. I want you to say, oh, that's what you thought? Or just say, no, I was just looking at you because I thought, it was interesting. You had a nice style or nice whatever. Okay. I don't want you to be heavy on the compliments. I don't want you to validate him at all. Okay. Right. Just say I was looking in your direction and I saw you looking at me, or even just totally deny it. Just say I saw you looking at me. That's why I was looking at you. Okay. I do not want you as much as you possibly can. Do not validate him by telling him, oh, I thought you were cute. Oh, I was looking at you because you're the most handsome guy in this room. Oh, I just thought like you were so much better than all the. Don't validate him at all. Okay. Never validate him with your words. When you want to make him feel like you're interested in him, make him feel that through your body language. Okay. Why? Because it's subtle. It's not obvious enough that he can say for sure that's what you feel. It's just a feeling that he has. And so what happens? He begins to take action on the feeling that he has to try to confirm if that's the truth or not. It's the push and pull. Okay? I know it sounds very complex, but you'll gain the hang of it as you continue doing it. Okay? Right? So the body language thing, someone says, Shabibi says, how are shy people supposed to do this? Even eye contact or smiling unalives me. Here's the thing, and I'll be honest with all of you here on this show, okay? I want you to help you all try and get your in-person game up, because the reality of it is you're never going to attract guys in person if you're too shy to do anything in person. I know that it doesn't feel like it's very obvious, but it's actually that obvious, because how can you possibly attract people in person if you don't build your skills up to attract people in person? So not that being shy is like if there's anything wrong with it, but if you're so shy that you literally can't talk to people in person, well, then how are you supposed to meet people in person? So like at some point, if you actually want to be able to meet people in person and to be able to flirt, like you're going to have to grow those skills. So I think it was Shabibi that was saying, I'm too shy to do any of this stuff. Well, then you're too shy to flirt in person in general, because there's no other version of flirting where you can not speak or not talk or not be interesting or not have, interesting, spicy body language. Like there's going to have to be a communication here of the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions. Like if you can't learn that, or if you're too shy to ever do that, or that's impossible for you, well, then I guess you're just going to have to go back to Hinge and Tinder. Okay. I get that some of you, it's hard, but there's only one way to flirt in person. I'm sorry. There's no, like, I can't give you an app or a message board that's going to help make it easier for you to flirt in person. There's no alternate strategy to flirting in person. You're going to have to learn how to flirt in person if you want to start meeting people and attracting people in person. Okay? Right? Shabibi said, can you please give more tips on how to show guys you're interested through body language? Everything I've been talking about is body language. Unless you haven't been paying attention, everything we've discussed here is body language. I've talked about eye contact, the line of sight, letting him lead. Never once did I say, open your mouth and say this thing. I haven't even said that yet. Okay? And actually, I'm not going to say anything at all in terms of that. Right? Everything that you're doing is about body language. Okay? It's not about the words you can say, because what guys feel from your body language is your communication to them. Okay? So that's why body language is so important. That was number 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? In your body language, you're communicating to him that you have interest in him. You're not going to validate him by giving him compliments, right? You're going to make him feel your interest, the touch on the arm, the smile, the direct eye contact, okay? Right? You're paying attention. You're locked in on the conversation, not looking around here and there, paying attention to this and that. Like you're actually here and present with him. When you get good at this, you'll feel this. You'll feel that you and the other person that you're talking to are present in this situation. Okay, not in a distant place somewhere. And also vice versa. If someone's not interested in you, you're going to feel that because they're not going to be plugged in directly into this conversation. So body language is a very important thing. Okay, for some of you that need direct understanding on how to do that, I'll make it very simple for you. When he tells you a joke, I want you to laugh and I want you to touch his arm. Okay, I didn't say stroke him. I said touch his arm lightly on the shoulder. Okay, lean on him if he says something funny or if he tries to make a joke. You don't got to cackle and you don't got to make it seem ridiculous that he said the most funny thing on earth. I just want you to stay in your feminine, right? You can laugh at his joke, touch him on the arm while he's telling this joke or while you're laughing or whatever. When he's telling you something about himself, so let's say you ask him a question, oh, where are you from, or things like that, and he starts getting into a story about himself or his life or anything like that, I want you to lock yourself in, okay? I want you to be thinking about how your body language is. I want you to be thinking about if you're looking as if you're interested. I don't want your arms crossed like this, right? I want you to be open, right? Facing him when he's talking, right? Looking as if you're locked in on the conversation. I want whatever he's saying, even if it's mundane, like, yeah, I work this finance job where, we trade stocks and, my stock portfolio is at like 30K right now. So I'm just working up to a manager. I want whatever he's saying, even if it's the most mundane thing ever, and you like this guy. I want you in your mind to convince yourself that this is the most fascinating story I've ever heard in my entire life. I can't wait to hear more. Okay? When you're thinking like that, your body language is going to start changing to present that thought, right? In the way that you're looking and making him feel. And when he starts to feel like when he's talking, when he's speaking about himself, when he's sharing with you that you're super interested and plugged in and tapped into what he's saying, he's going to be like, oh, you're actually interested, right? And he's going to start to mirror that to you because he feels like you're interested in him, okay? Remember, you don't really have to do anything, okay? When you start asking him questions back and you just start showing a casual interest in him, right? And he starts talking about himself, this is your go period, okay? And you don't even the questions you ask don't have to be super crazy. You can just ask him the same questions basically that he asked you when he started off, and show him a little bit of interest back in learning more about him. And then as he begins to talk about himself, you use your body language to make him feel like you're super tapped in, you're super locked into this conversation. You actually find it fascinating and interesting because he's going to start perking up and he's going to say, wow, you're locked in. I'm locked in on you. Yo, guys, y'all go over or do something else because I'm here having this conversation with her. And he's going to start mirroring that energy that he feels from you. Right? Heba said actually exactly what took the thoughts right out of my mind. She said, you'll exude a certain air of magnetism. It's very, very true. Okay. When you learn how to do this the right way and you learn how to flirt with guys the right way, you'll exude, just like Heba said, a magnetism that guys feel like, oh my God, like you're just like, you're so interesting. You're so fast, even though you're not. It's so crazy because you as the woman, even if you're not saying anything, right? You'll feel magnetic toward, you guys will feel as if you're a magnet that's attracting them because of the way you're presenting yourself and what they're receiving from you. It's like magic, okay? It's like magic. And you'll become more of a pro at this, like I said, when you practice this, because you'll understand how this works. There's a lot of things where even when I explain it to you, you'll only be able to fully understand the feeling once you actually practice it. And you'll know what it feels like once you're actually doing it. And you'll realize, this is why it's so powerful. It's so powerful to be you. You'll realize that it's so easy to get guys to do what you want them to do, or to get guys to feel whatever emotion you want them to feel without saying anything. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's actually insane. Okay. So we talked about eye contact, the line of sight, letting him lead, body language. Now, number 5 is I want you to take interest. So kind of similar to body language, but now I actually want you to be asking a little bit now, if you're in the club or the bar, you don't need to be going in super deep, but I do want you to actually be trying to get in some deeper conversation, ask him a little bit more about him, only because I want you to make it seem like you have a deeper interest in him than just something casual, okay? Now, remember, I didn't say I want you to compliment him or make him feel validated. I just want you to ask him a little bit deeper questions than just surface level. So if you start talking about relationships, ask him about his last relationship. If you start talking about, let's say there's some shared interest that you have, whether it be basketball, football, whatever, start asking him some more detailed, intricate questions as it relates to that whatever shared interest it is. Or if you guys just need a default thing to ask guys about and get deeper about whatever he's passionate about. So if he's passionate about finance, get deeper in that. Even if you don't know a lick about finance and you don't care about finance, take interest in it just for the fact that when he starts talking about the thing that interests him the most, he will light up. Okay? This is very important. I want you specifically to take interest in whatever it is he's passionate about. So when you start asking your questions and you start, showing him a little bit of interest by getting to know him a little bit, I want you to be asking questions to try to find what he's passionate about or what he cares about or what he spends a lot of his time doing. Then I want you to dig in that hole until you can't dig anymore. Why? Because when he starts talking about that, like I just said, that is when he will start to perk up because he loves that thing. and he's really interested in that thing, and he can talk about that thing for ages. And the thing about it is, like I always tell you guys, people don't remember what you say, right? They only remember they only remember how you make them feel. And the thing about it is, when he's talking about something that really he finds fascinating and interesting, he's going to associate the feeling that he feels talking about something really interesting and fascinating to him. He's going to associate that feeling with you. See, that's the weird, strange thing about like relationships and flirting and all that good stuff, is that we can't relate the fact that I feel really good and energized and tapped into this conversation because I'm talking about the thing that energizes me and I love doing. They associate the fact that I feel really good about this conversation because I'm talking to you, even though you're steering him in the direction of talking about the thing that fascinates him the most, that he will begin to feel those feelings of interest and excitement and happiness and joy with you and around you. And he'll start feeling like he can only feel that if he's with you. Because now that he's talking about something that interests him, all of a sudden, he's so much more tapped in and focused in on you in this conversation than he ever was talking to someone else. Okay? Right? So Sammy says, me listening to men explain computer coding, me knowing damn well I never use that info. It's awesome, okay? And you can literally just be smiling and nodding. And the thing about it is, this is actually one of the funniest parts, okay? Let me fix this here. One of the funniest parts about all of this is that when people are talking to you a lot about something that they find really interesting or fascinating, they don't even realize that you don't know anything about it. They don't even care if you know anything about it. They don't even care if you're fascinated by it. If you can just look interested while they yap about it endlessly, they'll be happy. People love yapping about things that interest them endlessly. And as long as you can just make sure you hold your body language in a place where they feel like you're interested in what they have to say, he'll continue to yap endlessly. And he won't even notice that you don't care anything about what he's saying and you don't care to use that information for anything in the future. Okay? They don't care. They're not thinking about that. All they're thinking about is the feeling that they feel when they get to yap endlessly about something that they find fascinating. And the fact that you seem to be someone interested in hearing them yap endlessly about something they find fascinating. Okay? It's like you serve two purposes. You're already hot and attractive. You've got a dump truck. You're voluptuous. Your yitties are busting out. Everything's amazing about how you look. But now you're telling me I get to yap about me and yap about the stuff that I love to talk about? Oh my God. Where do I spend $1,000 on you? How can I take you to Nobu tomorrow? Right? It's like you're 2 in 1. But he associates all of those good and positive, amazing feelings with you. And like I said before, you're really not doing anything. All you're doing is asking him basic questions, or in this case, a little bit more detailed questions, and really digging into the weeds of what he finds interesting. And you just keep talking around the topic of what he finds interesting. And he gets lost in that, and he just yaps endlessly about what he finds interesting. And then he thinks to himself, you're so interesting, even though you're not saying anything. It's magic. Okay? Taking interest in him is number 6. So we had eye contact, the line of sight, letting him lead, body language, taking interest. That was number 5, sorry. And to cut it short is number 6. Okay? So now I want you paying some very close attention here. Okay? This is going to be magical. You're going to get some good stuff from this. I see. The most powerful thing you can do when someone really likes you is not overstay your welcome. And whenever you cut things short with guys, especially, it leaves them wanting more. So I'm not saying don't have an amazing conversation with the guy who's super tapped into you. But as you know, once you get to the point where you feel like you've accomplished everything that you need to accomplish, he's come up to you, he's tried to chat you up. Now you've asked him a few questions. You've kind of dug into a little bit deeper the things that he likes. He's been yapping endlessly about what he likes. Now I want you to cut the conversation short. Whether you got to leave with your friends, you got to tend to something, you got to go somewhere. It's time for you to, your friends want to bar hop to another spot, whatever it may be that you need to cut the conversation short for whatever reason. I want you to do that. Why? Because once you've established that he really likes you and he really finds you fascinating and finds this conversation fascinating with you, I want you to cut it short for the sole reason I want you to leave him wanting more. You do not want to be overstaying your welcome where he talks to you, yaps and talks to you, and then he's good now, right? Right? You don't want this to feel like a date. You want this to feel like an introduction to you that he's like, oh my God, I need to take you on a date. I need to see you again. I need to learn more about you. This sample size was not enough. Imagine you go to Costco and they give you, they're handing out samples of cookies, and the cookie sample that you taste is the best thing you've ever tasted in your life. What's the first thing you're going to say? Where the hell can I find those cookies? Tell me where the box is and tell me if I can only buy 100 because I need to buy all of those cookies. Okay? Right? Whereas if they told you, hey, I'll give you the entire box of cookies and you can eat them until you're satisfied, what's the likelihood that you're going to go and try to buy a whole bunch of boxes when you're already satisfied with the amount that you just had? Whereas when you get just a small sample size and the sample size is really, really good, you say to yourself, I need more. Have you guys watched that episode of SpongeBob where they're thirsting for water and then I think Sandy has the water or it's like just outside or something and then he's like dried up. He's like, I need it. I need it. It's a funny meme. I wish I could play that meme. It's from SpongeBob. I watch SpongeBob a lot, guys. Okay, I'm a kid, right? So you want to cut it short, right? You want to leave him wanting more and you want to put him in a position where he's saying, I need to see you more. I need to get more access to you. I need to learn more about you because this was not enough, okay? It was just a small sample size and I really need to know more about you, right? And so for some of you, there's one or two things that could happen. For some of you that might not be leaving or going anywhere, you might cut it short and he might try to strike another conversation with you again throughout the night. That's still good. Do the same thing that I just told you, okay? Just repeat it. Because for some of you that might happen. If you're there so long that he comes to you and strikes another conversation, good. He's fiending now, okay? He can't get enough of you. That's good. Keep him there. Now, for some of you, that might be honestly the last conversation that you end up having with him. And this is going to lead into number 7, okay? So you talk about we talked about everything, right? Now you're cutting it short. Number 7, I want you to deny. Now, this is leading right into from number 6, because when you cut it short and he realized this is his last chance to see you or speak to you, obviously, if he's enjoyed this time and the sample size of conversation he's gotten to have with you, he's going to say, okay, what's your contact information? I need to get your number. Or some guys are going to say, it depends on the guy. He's going to say, I need your number, or I need your Snapchat, or sorry, not Snapchat. Sorry. Let's X that out. He's going to say, I need your number, or I need your Instagram. Depending on the type of guy, he's going to say one of the two, okay? Now, this is going to sound very sneaky and strange, but I actually want you to turn him down when he asks you for your Instagram or your number, okay? The first time he asked you, okay? Now, listen to me. There's a do and a don't for this. Listen to me. There's a specific way I want you to deny him the first time he asks, okay? I want you to deny him on the first ask. This is going to sound very strange. I know it sounds very strange. Just hold on, okay? I want you to deny him the first time he asked. And this is what I want you to say, okay? So I want you paying attention. So let's say he asked for your number. Oh, okay, you got to go you're going to another spot. Okay, I really want to get to know you more. I would love if we could go out for coffee. Can I get your Instagram? And I want you to say, to be honest, I don't really think getting my Instagram would be worth anything because I'm a really busy girl and I have a lot to do and I don't really have too much time to have casual conversation and be messaging people. So I'm not a good texter. I'm probably not going to respond for a while and stuff. I just got a lot of stuff going on and my schedule is really busy. So you probably wouldn't even be happy following me on Instagram anyways, because I'm not a good texter, right? Something along those lines. Whether he asks for your Instagram or he asks for your number, basically pass it off as I'm not going to give you my number because it would be a waste of time. I don't have time to have someone like you in my life just casually messaging me. Okay, right? I'm too busy. Right? This is what I want you to be thinking about. My schedule is too busy for me to be casually having text conversation with you. That's essentially the feeling and what I want you to communicate to him. Okay. Right? The reason I want you to deny him under that precedent is because here's the thing. This is like a seed that you plant. when you plant the seed that I'm too busy to have casual conversation and just be messaging back and forth, and you're probably not going to get a response from me if you're just interested in messaging back and forth. This is crazy. He thinks that he came up with this bright idea. In reality, you backed him into a corner if he wants access to you. Basically, what you just did by doing that is you backed him into a corner where his only option, if he really wants to get your Instagram and get your number, is to say, no, I'm committed to taking you out on a date this week. I'm not here to casually message you and then nothing happens. So if I get your number and your Instagram, it's because we're going to plan this next date, not because I'm just going to casually message you and add you to my roster. Okay? So basically what's going to happen is, by the time, this is why everything gets set up in a particular way. This is like advanced flirting, okay? Everything gets set up in a particular way because by the time he comes up to you, he strikes this conversation with you. He actually realizes that you don't just have a huge dump truck and you don't just have voluptuous titties and a small waist, or you don't just look like a supermodel, that you also are very fascinating and interesting, and you take an interest in him. Right? And by the time he realizes that, he's going to say, oh my God, I stumbled across gold. I stumbled across my dream girl. I stumbled across the best girl that I've ever met. I need to know her more. So this is what's going to happen. By the time you're about to leave and he realizes that he might never see you again, he's going to become desperate. Why? Because he invested quite a bit of energy in this interaction and he likes the sample that he's received from you. So now he feels like when you're saying, nah, I'm not interested in casually messaging, he's thinking to himself, I can't let you just walk away. I need to figure out what must be done. He's going to start thinking on his feet. I need to figure out what I must say or what I must do in order to get her contact information. Because if she just walks away, then I've literally lost out on everything that I just invested to get to this point. I didn't get to this point just to not add her on anything and never see her again. So you're putting him in a really desperate situation where you're like the investment that's about to walk out the door, right? And he can't let his investment walk out the door. So then he says to himself, okay, well, I'm not here to just message you. I'm here because I actually want to book a date out with you. And he'll be trying to be in the sea. This is exactly where you want him. Exactly. You should be smiling ear to ear once you get him here. Because what's going to happen is now he's going to be thinking about, okay, how do I adjust myself to be what you need me to be? Because he's going to say, you can't just walk away. I'm seeking your approval and I need to know what you want and what you desire so I can be more of that. Now, you got that man wrapped around your finger. Because now the dynamic of the relationship has been set. Princess gets what princess wants. So if princess is only going to entertain me, if I'm going to be serious and take her out on a date, that's exactly what my princess gets. Okay? Right? And you're setting the dynamic that if he's not prepared to meet you wherever it is that you expect a man that you are going to be giving your time and attention to meet you, then he's not going to get your time and attention. And you constantly put him in a position where as he begins to invest more and more in you, the threat of you walking away with his investment becomes even more and more painful. Okay? And you're setting that precedent for the rest of the time that you know this guy. Because by the time he gets your number now, he's going to know, I can't mess around. She's not going to be messaging me casually. So the first message he sends you after he got your number, after you denied him the first time, then he had to convince you, right? And still work for it to get your contact information. He's not going to mess around with that contact information now. First thing he's going to do when he gets home or the next thing in the morning, he's going to be figuring out, how do I schedule this next date with her? Because I can't mess around. If I mess around, I'm going to lose out on this opportunity. Right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? You always want to put guys in a slightly desperate situation where they feel like, great, this is going well. I love this sample. I love what I've seen from you and what I've got from you. And I love this back and forth that we have. But the fact that you're willing to walk away now, whoa, you're going to walk away. I'm not going to just casually message you. I'm actually serious about this, right? And by the time he says that, he feels obligated by the time you guys aren't together. And by the time you leave, he feels obligated to live up to how serious he said he was going to be. Okay? Because he knows in his mind, if I mess around and I just message her casually or I don't take this seriously, you're going to be gone and you're going to be way too busy for me like you already said you would. And he basically feels like, right, this is the amazing thing, this is the very weird thing also, is that he feels like he accomplished something simply by getting your number, right? Everyone talks about I'm the prize, I'm the prize, I'm the prize. You can be the prize, but you actually become a prize when he feels like he had to actually go through challenges and overcome obstacles to get that number of yours and to get that contact information and to get that access to you. Then you actually embody a prize, right? Because he feels rewarded in just getting access to you. He feels like he won something in just getting access to you. And so what does he treat you like if he feels like you're a prize? He treats you like a prize. What does he treat you like if he feels like you're dumpster garbage juice? He treats you like dumpster garbage juice. Right? Does that make sense? Melita says, right, I don't have time to do the fun summer girl thing, too busy, and it's stupid, right? I literally want you to be saying that to guys. Be like, look, I just don't have time for that. I'm not going to be casually messaging. I have so much other things going on in my life. I'm not a casual message girl, just sit back and relax. So we shouldn't even be doing this because if that's what you expect. Oh, thank you so much to Sammy in the TikTok chat. She sent over fireworks. I'm pretty sure fireworks is like a really big gift. I don't know how much, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that donation. I think that's one of the biggest donations we've had in TikTok. Okay, thank you so much. So does that make sense to all you guys? Right? You really, 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 really want to allow guys to come to their own realization of how much they want you and let them lead, let them do all the work, right? And you just use your body language and the way you communicate through your energy to let him feel like, okay, if I continue pursuing, this is going to continue working. I just got to keep pressing. I got to keep pushing. And she can be convinced, right? Throughout this entire process of this flirting, I know it didn't really sound as magical and as Disney princessy as, you think when you think of flirting, because we broke it down like this. But throughout this process of flirting, you basically want him to constantly feel like he has to convince you to be interested in him. I know that sounds toxic, but the truth of the matter is when guys feel like they had to convince you to be interested in them, that's when you have them where you want them to be, which is seeking your validation. Okay? Right? The fact that they feel like they had to convince you to be interested is what makes them feel like you are something to be worked on. Not something that's already readily available to them that they don't have to work for or do anything for. They feel like they got to put their best foot forward to get access to you, or else they won't have any access to you. Okay? Suzuki donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, thank you so much for the male insight. Empowers us. Thank you so much for the donation, Suzuki. I always say Suzuki. Suzy Q. That's like my favorite nickname for you is Suzuki. Suzy Q, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. All right. So does that make sense to you guys? Nashaleen says, should you show interest in your body language, not in your words? I talked about that earlier. You don't be communicating, oh my God, you're the most gorgeous man I've ever met. That's why I was looking at you earlier. No. Don't validate him like that. You don't need to. It's unnecessary, especially when he's already made the effort of coming up to you, okay? Do not go up to guys, okay? Don't go up to guys. Don't approach guys. Never do that. Never do that. Ever, okay? Make sure you're not doing that. Okay. So, with that being said, you should know what time it is. If you are not aware of what time it is, the rest of the chat will make you aware of what time it is, because it's a magical time. It's a time of laughter, tears, joy, euphoria, sadness, disappointment. It's a time like you've never experienced before time. It's not a time on your clock. It's not a time on your watch. It's not a time on your computer or phone. It's Discord time. Oh man, I know that new people are always confused. It's okay. I'll explain this to you quickly. Discord time is essentially when all the members of the Players Club, they get to ask their personal relationship questions to me in the Discord, and I answer them live on the show. So if you have a question for me, you can submit your question to the Discord like all of these other wonderful people, and I will answer it live on the show. If you're on TikTok, you just go over to the link in my bio and you put your question in the relationship advice section. And if you're on YouTube, you can go over to the pinned comment there of mine, or you can go down in the link in the description if you're watching this after the live show, okay? So these are questions submitted by real people in the Players Club. The Players Club, yes. So let's start off here with S. So I didn't read S's before. That's why I had to mark it here. Okay, so please help me gain my power back. TikTok accident. So S says, my ex-boyfriend broke up with me a year ago after 3 years together. Since then, I have been off social media completely. Note, he jumped into a new relationship right after. They have been together for a year. She's tried to get him since we were together due to his money. Oh, wow. Okay. He did everything for her right away. I was never treated half as well. That's sad. He tried to contact my mom, friends, and me while he was in this new relationship to ask how I'm doing and if I'm alive and okay. Okay. Multiple times during the first 7 months, although he has a new girl. We never responded to any texts because I want him to regret/gain power back if possible. Felt very disrespected. Honestly, that's good that you didn't respond. No need to. The issue is a mishap happened yesterday. I made a TikTok lip sync with a Billie Eilish song, and it says, "You said you'll never fail us. You'll never fall in love again because of me, but you moved on immediately." I accidentally posted before I went to sleep. How did you accidentally post? Did you actually accidentally post? Just be honest. An honest accident. That's funny that you said that. Okay, we'll go with that. An honest accident, since I don't post on TikTok at all or any social media platforms a year since I am trying to regain my power. This ruined my plan of being off social media and coming back online. Why couldn't you just delete it? I'm confused. When I am a new version, which I have been working on my mental and physical. In the video, it was just for fun to keep as a draft and never to be posted. I think you might say on my toilet and in a big t-shirt, not dressed up at all. Okay. He has seen it. Now I feel I have messed up the dedication of my offline presence to gain my power back. The song makes me look like a pretty girl obsessed with his relationship while he is happy, increasing his ego. Question, how do I fix this? Delete the video. For context, in his eyes, I was dying without him since I wasn't doing well the first month after our breakup, and our mutual friend and his mom were consistently talking to me to feed him information, but I was an idiot, and I did tell them I wasn't well and all that before completely ignoring their call/text the first month of the breakup. It's been a year now. How do I fix this TikTok situation? Honest accident. I know you're asking this question because you want my advice, but the honest truth is that do nothing. Like, I get that you feel a little bit embarrassed because you feel like he might think that this is about him and things like that. But at the end of the day, whether he thinks it's about you or not is honestly irrelevant because your relationship with him is over. So what he thinks about you is honestly irrelevant. Like, So if he thinks that you're desperate, if he thinks that you're obsessed, honestly, it's whatever. If it was a genuine accident, it's whatever. Okay. You can't see, this is the problem that a lot of you are facing. When you make a mistake, you don't just allow the single mistake to be a single mistake. You compound your mistake by feeling like you need to do more to take action and cover up or fix the mistake. Then by the time you try to fix the mistake, you end up just spiraling and making more mistakes, and then trying to cover up those mistakes by making more mistakes. And then it's a vicious cycle where you're like doing things that you never could imagine anyone would ever be doing, and you look absolutely insane. So in this scenario, before you start doing more things to try to be like, oh, well, maybe I should message him and reach out to him and tell him that that was an honest accident of the posting and it wasn't really about him. No, that makes you look worse. And whatever comes from that is probably only going to make you spiral deeper down and get into a place where you never wanted to be in the first place. Okay, so to be super real with you, do nothing. Delete the video, don't address it. And if he messages you about it, don't answer him about it. You don't need to explain to him whether or not the situation or the post was about him. And to be honest with you, I know this sounds a little bit rude, but if you post it and then you delete it, honestly, nobody cares. Okay. I'm not saying that because you're not important, but you're thinking that more people are thinking about you and everything that you're doing more than they actually are. People all have their own individual problems and issues and circumstances. They're not really thinking about it that deeply. So when you're saying, oh, I posted and now it's not gonna, you know, show the same thing of like, you know, I'm offline and my offline presence and stuff like that. Like you're taking it a little bit too much to heart that people are watching it and going, oh my God. Can you believe S posted? She hasn't posted in like at least 6 months. Like, can you believe this is what she came back to the internet with? She's in a big t-shirt on the toilet. Oh my God. Embarrassing. Sarah, isn't that embarrassing? Look at her TikTok post. Embarrassing. How do you come back to social media with this after 6 months? Nobody's doing that. Okay. Nobody's doing that. Nobody cares that much. Not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that to say delete the post and then move on. Like it's not that serious. And I know it's more focused on what he thinks, but honestly, it doesn't matter. That's your ex. And obviously you don't want to go back to that relationship. So who cares what he thinks? Even if he thinks that you're obsessed, who cares? If you're not actually obsessed, who cares? Okay. Move on. Okay. Keep the thing how it is so that you can actually move on from the situation, because anything that involves you reaching back out to him, having a conversation with him, or trying to prove something to him by sending a message through someone else to get to you, waste of your time. Waste of your time. Don't do that. Just move on. Okay. Next we have here, let's see, gotta scroll. Make sure I'm at the bottom. Okay. So next we have Sophie. Sophie says, what do I do in this situation? Okay. Sophie says, I met this guy a year ago. Everything was fine, but then he said, let's be friends. It was painful, but I tried to move on. Then he came back. We started dating again. I always tell you guys, give guys one chance. If he ever says, let's be friends, that should be his last chance. But after some time, I went through a crazy spiral because he didn't text me. This is not good. I think this is going to go very bad. If this is how you spiral, this is not going to go good. So I said to him rude things, so he blocked me because he didn't text you. This happened for 3 to 4 months. Then when I let go of him, he came back. Yeah, because that's the pattern. He said, let's be friends. You accepted it. You stuck around. And then when he says, oh, you know, I think you're interesting enough to date. You were like a golden retriever. It's like your life didn't start. Your life is on pause when he walks out the door. And as soon as he walks back in the door, then you're happy again. Okay. And he just was like, I can continue doing that. I can go back and be serious with her when I feel like being serious. When I don't feel like it, I'll abandon her. Okay. This happened. I let go of him. Then he came back. We started to talk. It was really nice. We talked for months and finally met once. We don't, I think you might say live in the same country. So we have only spent one day together. Then we still talked, But after some days, he was busy and I got emotional and texted too much and he ignored me. And once asked him if I should stop texting, he then said, don't text me anymore. Oh my God, you have a texting addiction. Since then, I'm trying to let go. Sometimes I feel like I want to talk to him and it hurts, but sometimes I'm okay. I don't really know. Any advice? Do this. And put it down on the table. And I want you to switch it off. And I want you to not look at it again. Any advice? I should move on from this, or will it ever work? When we are together, everything is fine. When we are together in person, in real three-dimensional space, everything is fine. Only until my crazy side comes up, specifically over text. Okay? I mean, we talked for months, then I effed it up with desperation actions. Oh, I'm glad that you have some self-awareness, Sophie. Okay? Because that's exactly what you did. If you're acknowledging to me that your relationship is perfectly fine as it relates to being in person, and you're acknowledging to me also that it was you, like you doing too much is what messed it up, then you know exactly what you need to fix. Now, I'm not saying that you fixing it is going to make you be in a relationship with him and it's going to go well and you'll be happy ever after. But I am saying to you that this is a problem. If you're spiraling simply because a guy does not text you, that is a very big problem. Now, obviously, if someone's not texting you for, let's say, 4 or 5 days, right, and they're supposed to be your boyfriend, that's a totally different story. But if you're talking about you spiral simply because it takes him a couple of hours to text you back, oh my goodness, you need to take a chill pill. You will never be in a place where a man can desire you when you're that needy and desperate. And you even said it yourself. Desperate actions. Okay? When you're that needy and desperate, there's no way he can desire you in that state, because literally there's no space for him to say, I want more of you. He literally can't, because every second of every day you're in his face begging for his attention. And he's probably thinking to himself, the only thing he can think to himself when you're already in his face 24/7 begging for his attention, the only thought he can have after that is, I would like to see and speak to you less. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? The only way he can desire you is when you are not present and you're not around or you're not speaking to him. And so I say that to say, if you have such an anxious attachment that him not texting you for a few hours makes you go crazy, you need to solve that. And you need to figure out why your life, it's going to sound mean, but you need to figure out why your life is so boring and uninteresting that a man not texting you back for a couple of hours will send you through a spiral. Why do you not have anything else to do that you find fascinating or interesting that can take up some of your brain and thought power other than watching paint dry, hoping that he will text you back? You are like a dog when your owner leaves the house and you just sit there not knowing what to do with your life until your owner returns home. You can't be like that. Guys aren't going to be attracted to you when you're in that state. It's like you're sitting there with a smile on your face. Do you like me now? Do you like me now? Do you like me more than you did 10 seconds ago? Do you like me more than you did 30 seconds ago? Do you like me more than you did a minute ago? And it's exhausting for guys, for anyone, really. It's exhausting and it's very unattractive, whether you're a guy or girl, because I'm sure even the girls in the chat will tell you if guys or the guys that have ever done this to them, they were very unattracted to. It's very unattractive. Okay. You need to take several chill pills, Sophie, if you ever want to see him desire you the way that you want to be desired. Now, in this specific scenario, if he just straight out said, don't text me anymore, I honestly, I wouldn't be waiting around hoping that when you let go of this or you figure out how to make your life fulfilling, that he'll necessarily come back to you, because that's a pretty strong statement. Okay, it doesn't seem like he's that interested in you, and if it seems as if you've unalived a lot of his desire for you, unfortunately. And yeah, so your solution to the problem, your problem, is to start doing some passions and hobbies, start figuring out, going out places that you can start figuring out what you're passionate about, what makes you feel fulfilled, what brings you some happiness outside of boys. So that the next relationship that you get in, you're not in a place where if he doesn't text you, then you're losing your mind. Okay. Next we have here, let's see. Gotta scroll. Okay. I believe I didn't do this one. So it was open, but I don't think I did it. He treats me non-verbally. I think okay. Yeah, I think I didn't do this one. And I have to do it. All right. So mind games, the guy is confusing. There is a guy who I've slightly been interested in, even though from how he treats me non-verbally, I don't think he is interested in me. We've made eye contact quite a few times. From him initiating eye contact, I wouldn't stare like some weirdo. Hold on, did I do this one? I wouldn't stare like some weirdo. I would just look and then look the other way. And I would walk by him from time to time, not looking at him from, oh yeah, I did read this one. So he treats me like some desperate weirdo. Sorry, I did that one already. I thought I didn't. So next we have here, I did that one. That was one I did yesterday. Next we have here M. M says advice. So she says, "Hi Thompson, I've been following your advice word for word. He's been calling, texting, all kinds of things to get my attention like you said he would. But now his last resort is asking to see his kid. What now? I now realize it's a pattern. When I withdraw, he's done it in the past. When he's asked to see his kid, I've said yes, but I won't be there. No, I did this one too already. That's very strange. Why is that happening? I did this one. Sorry, guys. Let me go down. If it's highlighted, it should be because I didn't do it yet. Down low. Okay. This is interesting. Buckle up, chat, because whenever they start like this, it's gonna get weird. Okay, the dark side says, I would really love to hear your thoughts on the rise of down low men. This has honestly shocked me to my core. I didn't know it was a thing. I was in a relationship with my ex 5 years before finding out he had been curious about men before our relationship. 5 years. Wow. About 8 years total. And reached out to a couple for a threesome. He showed no signs of being happy, besides the fact that he wanted to hang out with his guy friends consistently and texting them a lot. He used Snapchat. What do I always tell you guys about Snapchat? Anyone who is past the age of 30, right, using Snapchat is only using it to be sneaky. Okay. He used Snapchat with his guy friends more than with me too. I know he had hidden pineapple videos used from me for 5 years. What? Oh, sorry. He had hidden pineapple. Oh, he had hidden pineapple used from me for 5 years. There were clearly some other problems and secrets hidden from me too. I just could not believe my eyes. I want to know if there are any ways to identify them so we can avoid that. So are you not with this guy? I was in a relationship. Okay, your ex. Okay. I am still haunted by wondering what may have happened while we were together. I feel like I'll never know the truth, and it's extremely disturbing. I tried to tell myself it doesn't matter. I can move on without knowing, then find myself shocked again. Thank you so much. Okay, the dark side. Quite an interesting conundrum that you have. And I'll be honest with you. One of the things that you have to accept when you get into relationships with people is that as much as you want to gather more information and learn more about them, you have to accept the reality that at the end of the day, there might be things that they don't tell you. And there might be things that you don't find out right away. And there might be things that you, as smart as you are and as capable as you are at figuring out things, that you don't realize until later, or maybe in some cases you never figure them out. And I need you to just come to the realization that that's okay. I know it's easier said than done, but you have to understand that while you might try to be as smart and intelligent and understand context clues as you possibly can with people and ask them questions, sometimes people are going to hide things from you, and it's you just won't know. But you can't lose your mind about the possibilities of all the things that you might not know, and literally just be stuck in this loop of feeling like, oh my God, but what if I don't know this? What if I don't know that? What if I don't know this? Because then every single one of your relationships, you'll just be in this constant fear state where you're in fear of like, oh my God, what if this absolutely horrible, terrible thing is happening right under my nose and I don't find out about it, or I don't realize it? It's like, yeah, it's true. It might be terrible and horrible, and it might be happening right under your nose. But at the end of the day, if you spend all your time worrying about all the possible things that could go wrong, you'll never be able to be just happy. And you'll never be able to accept happiness in your relationships, because all you'll be able to think about is what could possibly be going wrong in your relationship. Okay, so this extends past even just the guy being a different actuality than you originally thought. It even extends to just all the different possibilities of things you might not know about, or might be unbeknownst to you, that you have to discover in a relationship. At the end of the day, you're meeting someone for the first time, you're meeting a stranger, and the process of learning and growing and understanding that, you're going to learn some insightful things about them as time goes on. And not everything is going to happen that you're going to learn is going to be right at the beginning. Some things might be surprises, but you have to accept that that's okay. Not that you will never want to know more about the person, or that you'll never or believe that it's wrong if you discover some things later on. But like, you have to accept that like, you might not know everything, because nobody does. There is nobody existing in a relationship where they'll know everything about you. They might discover some things about you that they never knew, and some things might take them for a surprise. You also can't project the situation that you had with this guy on every other guy that you meet, because the reality of it is not every guy you'll be in a relationship after this one will be a down low man. It's just not true. Okay. But you start to live with an irrational fear that this might be true for every relationship you'll be in. And then even when you find yourself in a position where you're just happy in the relationship, just chilling, you'll be thinking to yourself, but what if he's down low and I don't realize it, and everything is going good because this is just a front, because he's really doing this and this behind. And you're literally going to be putting yourself in pain, because you're going to be the one not allowing yourself to feel happiness at the end of the day. So the only thing you really can do is accepting that in your relationships from now on, you honestly might not know everything about the person. Now you can start saying, okay, I'll be more inquisitive about the people that I'm dating, and making sure I'm gathering as much information as I can about them and getting them talking about themselves. But then to a certain extent, there's only so much you can know about someone. Okay, right? But the answer to your question would probably be being a little bit more curious in your future relationships, but also accepting that as curious as you are, as many great questions as you ask, people might still try to hide stuff from you. And that doesn't make you a bad person, and that everyone goes through that. All right. Next we have here, let's see. Princess says, what's the next move? Okay. Princess says, hi, your advice has been absolutely the most helpful. I'm 30 and he's 40. So we just started going on dates. So far, we've had 2 dates. It's been about a month-ish so far. Not in a relationship yet, still getting to know him stage. I followed all of your guidance and it's working so far. There's no pineapples, Squirtle, no Gok Gok 3000, or as some of you like to say nowadays, Hawk Tool, right? Nothing of that sort, except we have only kissed. That's fine. You're both adults. I have strong boundaries, no access or seeing the goodies. There's no yapping in text, no trauma dumping, none of that. There's no predictable texting pattern. He's even flagged that I'm hard to get a hold of at times, which frustrates him. Good, very good. And he says that's a concern. Concern for why? Concern for his anxiety? We do text here and there throughout the week, but it's nothing major. I keep it very limited. Good. I've told him I prefer an in-person experience, and in person, he totally forgets to bring up any of these issues regarding texting. Doesn't matter. Even if he does, keep doing what you're doing. It's just silly frustration because he feels like you don't like him as much as he likes you. As I give him the most enchanting in-person experience, showing my interest, asking questions, and he absolutely is so into me just as much as I am into him in person. And then we shared a kiss and it was great. So it's funny, actually, you're enchanting him so well that he doesn't even remember the issues that he has when he's with you in person because he's thinking about how much he's enjoying this time with you. That's actually really funny. And that speaks to the fact you're doing this really well. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. All that he's doing when he's trying to say, this is frustrating, this is a concern for me, is he's trying to get you to ease his anxiety. He wants you to ease his anxiety because he feels like, okay, I'm really into you, but I feel like the fact that you don't seem to care enough to text me makes me feel like I'm way more into you than you're into me, because don't you feel like we're not texting enough, right? And he's trying to get you to ease that anxiety that he has towards you. Don't do it, okay? He's enchanted by you, right? To the point where he can't even remember what problems he has when he's with you. That's good. He's losing his mind around you. That's good. You're going to have this man wrapped around your finger if you continue doing exactly what you've been doing. But I genuinely prefer to see him once a week going forward. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Based on how you're going, this guy's going to want to see you more than once a week. I'll just be honest with you, because you're doing this a little bit very well. And this is only going to stimulate him wanting to see you more in person. So I'll just be honest with you. So if you only want once a week, my apologies, because this is going to work. He's going to want to see you more than once a week. Not bi-weekly. Okay. So you're saying right now it's not enough. Then that's good. Anyways, what I'm asking is there any tactics to get him to want to see me more and to chase me even more? I'm already doing everything possible that you mentioned and it's working so far, but I'd really rather just see each other once a week so I can make the assessment if he's my person or not and move on. I do have a lot of hobbies and things to do every day. However, I generally want to get this moving along faster in terms of frequency of dates. What will entice him to be more intentional to wanting to see me more and plan more things more often? Okay, this is a conundrum that I know actually probably a lot of you are experiencing, okay? Is the anxiousness because you're like, okay, I really want to just quickly see if you're the person for me or not so I can get through this. Here's the thing. I always tell you guys, you need to let him cook, okay? I know in everyone's favorite Disney princess movie and teen drama, people grow their feelings for someone in 5 minutes and they want to get married as soon as they meet the other person, okay? We all hear about love at first sight, so we feel like if I really care about you, I really have feelings for you, I should want to marry you the first second that I meet you. In reality, that's not the pace or the timeline in which people actually generate feelings for one another, okay? It's a made up timeline that we all want to believe in because we all love believing in fantasies and fairy tales, okay? Now, I say that to say, in your scenario, think about this. This has only been about a month, okay? And obviously in a month, if you're only going on 1 date a week, right, that'll only be 4 dates, okay? I just say that to say, like, just be patient. I know that's easier said than done, but like it's only been a month since you've even discovered of each other's existence. Allow his interest in you to grow over time, and over time he will become increasingly interested in getting to see you more and more. He's already enchanted with you on the dates that he's going on with you. He already has anxiety when you're not around. Just keep allowing that to fester and keep allowing that to grow. And his interest in you will grow and he'll begin to ask you out more and more frequently. Don't be trying to speed this up by thinking to yourself, okay, what can I do more of to get him more interested in me? Because see, this is, like I said, this is the problem that some of you face. As soon as you start thinking to yourself, what more must I do to get him more interested so we go out on more dates? That's the moment you literally put on your maid outfit, you get on your hands and knees, and you start scrubbing the floor squeaky clean while you wash the dishes, while you cook him dinner, while you start giving him a handy, while you're giving him a footy. You're trying to do everything at once to try to stimulate his interest in you. And all that does is make him disinterested in you. When all you had to do for his interest in you to grow over time is do nothing. If he's already showing interest in you and he's already doing the job of pursuing you and he's already not pressuring you for pineapples, keep the train moving in the direction that it's going in. I know for some of you, it might not be moving as fast as a Disney princess movie, and it might not all be happening in one day, but I can assure you, if you just keep on that path, everything will fall in line how it's supposed to fall in line. The moment you start trying to make this go faster than it's meant to go, or make this go faster by doing more things and texting him more, or mentioning to him that you guys should go out more, you ruin everything you've been working towards. Everything. And I don't want that for you. You don't need to be doing that. All you need to do is do nothing and let it grow. I promise you, if you do nothing, princess, and you let it grow, it will grow and he'll increase the frequency he wants to see you and you'll be happy. Everyone will be happy. You'll get your answer. Okay. Next we have here, let's see. Annalena says, question. Let's see here. She says, hi, Tomisin. Previously, I wrote about a guy that friend zoned me. Quite a few guys have disappeared during the talking stage. However, I still have options or admirers, but it seems that the ones I genuinely like don't reciprocate the feeling. Amid all this, I started doubting my attractiveness. Maybe I'm not very pretty and I just don't realize it. Does it mean that if a guy disappears after the first meeting, I'm unattractive or uninteresting? Honestly, I don't think so. But after these failures, I began to doubt. No, you're actually going through, Annalena, you're going through exactly what a lot of the girls in the Players Club go through, which is the fact that you are, I don't know you, but more than likely, if you don't have problems attracting guys in general, just the guys that you actually like, your problem isn't that you're unattractive. Your problem is that when you like a guy, your approach to that relationship changes, right? When you don't like a guy, you're uninterested in him. You're not needy for his validation or desperate for his validation. You don't need or care for his attention, and you don't pursue him because you're not interested in him. But because you're an attractive woman, all of that you're doing stimulates the guys that you're not interested in to chase after you and pursue you. But vice versa, when you are interested in a guy and you really like him and you really want to build this relationship with him, you become desperate, you become needy, you become seeking, you start seeking his validation and you want to talk to him 24/7 and all the time. You don't let him get a break from you. And your approach is the total opposite. So despite you being attractive, guys become unattracted to you because of your approach. And now they become disinterested in you and you feel like the guys that you like don't like you. Well, this is a newsflash to any of you. If any of you are in a position where you feel like guys do like you, but it's only the guys that you like that don't like you, it's not about your attractiveness. It's about your approach, which is exactly why I exist in your life, to help you understand the approach and how different approaches trigger men to respond to you in different ways, and how to have the most efficient, awesome, amazing approach that you can get the guys that you do like to be obsessed over you, even though you are already obsessed with them. Okay. And it's all about the adjustment in your approach. So to answer your question, no, I don't know you. I haven't seen a picture of you, but I would assume you're not unattractive. Yeah. You're not unattractive because if you can attract other guys, then that speaks to your attractiveness. But if it's just the guys that you don't like, that you find it not working out with, it's about your approach. So just, join me more in the show and you'll learn a lot. Next we have here, let's see, advice on needs and pleasing. Okay, interesting. So Anon says, this is going to go somewhere if they're saying if their name is just Anon. I am 25 and had one serious relationship at 18 years old, which lasted almost 3 years. But I broke up since I was in a very bad period emotionally and needed a time without him. After that, I was with other guys in this span of 3 to 4 years. These were like relationships or situationships. But I was actually searching for something. I think the personalities and traits that I really like, you were searching for the personality and traits that you really like. My problem is that I lack emotional intelligence so badly that I do not know what is happening to get me. I get bored easily And in the end, I realized I don't want that at all. Okay. I don't take these things personally anymore, but I had a really hard time understanding my own needs. Okay, very interesting. The first problem I always had is, how should I put my own needs before his when meeting a new guy? Are you talking about down below the waist? I struggle with this since I have pleasing tendencies, and now I am just stuck and not doing anything. Okay, so you're talking about below the waist. I always end up doing the things the other person wants me to do. I'm very easily manipulated, not all the time, but most of the time. In the last 2 years, I got better. I just wanted to ask for a few pieces of advice on how I can actually practice. How can I practice? And what are some indicators that I am doing well? Since I notice I do not feel when I set a boundary or say no to someone and feel the need to say yes instead. Okay. I also want to ask, what are some good sides of this? Good sides. And how can I motivate myself to set boundaries since I always get everything easy when not having them, aka validation. It's a whole different process for me, and I do not understand, feel, or see the benefits of it. That's why I think I am not doing it at all this time. Thanks. There's a couple parts that I don't quite understand what you're asking, but in the gist of what you're asking, in terms of if we're talking all below the waist and pineapple related, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to try and say this delicately so that everyone can understand it. Not all guys are thinking about pineapples from the pleasure standpoint of the woman. I just have to spell that out as a reality that we live in. Because if I lied to you about that, I would be lying and I wouldn't be helping you. My own personal thing, right? And there are guys that exist like me, is I am always concerned about the pleasure of the person that I'm sleeping with, because I like my reputation. And I also I like people to like the experience that they're having with me. So my nut comes secondly to the person that I'm sleeping with. Okay. That's me though. There are other guys like me, but that's the minority. Majority of men are not thinking about pineapples that way. I'm just going to be so real with you. Okay. That doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. I just have to be real with you. Majority of men are not thinking about pineapples that way. So to get what you want in terms of being pleased, it is very important for you to coach men on how to please you. Okay. So if you are someone, you said you struggle with pleasing and you struggle with understanding your own needs. Okay. That is the first thing that you need to be solving. If you struggle understanding your own needs, you need to get a vibe. You need to get several vibes, actually. So I know this is a little bit TMI, but you need to get like a rose, one that will suck on you. You need to get something that will insert itself in you. And you probably just need to get a standard, silicone replica. Okay, you know what I mean? And I need you to get all three, because you need to start doing some exploring and realizing, are you a clitoral girl or are you a penetration girl? What is the spot inside you? Is it slightly to the left, slightly to the right? Where is it? When you know you're feeling the proper pressure and the proper stroking, like the proper rhythm, like how do you know that, right? And where is the spot? That way, when you're actually with this guy or these guys, whoever it is, you can start coaching the guys on how to get you there, where you need to go, okay? Because guys, not that they don't care about your pleasure, but they're not so invested in your pleasure that they're going to be trying to better understand it if you're not willing to coach them. So you got to start coaching them so that he can just do the thing and then you can be happy, okay? It starts with your ability to like open your mouth and speak up for yourself on what you need to get done to please yourself. then you can start getting what you want from the guys, because it's not that the guys necessarily will be like, oh, this is what pleases you, I'm going to make sure I don't do that. No, they're going to want to do what pleases you, but a lot of them need to be coached on what pleases you. And if you don't know what pleases you, then that's your first problem that you need to solve. So honestly, like I said, get all three of those, okay? Get a Tracy's dog sucking vibe, because it has the attachment that goes in and it has the attachment that goes over, and it's got good suction. Don't ask me how I know, guys, okay? Don't ask me how I know. Now, and you want to use probably something like that, or just get all the three separate ones. I'm literally so serious, you need to start exploring so you can figure out what is the most pleasurable thing to you, okay? And when you figure out what the most pleasurable thing to you is, now you can start communicating that to the guys. I also would honestly, it's going to sound strange when you're talking about pleasing yourself, I would honestly advise you to start watching a few pineapple videos, right? And exploring different things, like start exploring different categories that are even a little bit extreme. And what I want you to specifically start doing is explore a couple of different types of pineapple videos that you find interesting and turns you on, but it's something you almost feel embarrassed to tell people would turn you on. Once you start getting in that realm, now we're starting to discover the little bit KINKSs of yours and the darker side of your personality and your pleasure here. That's when we're getting somewhere. So once you start stumbling across those type of videos, I want you to start watching them and analyzing what about those videos that you find hot or interesting. I know this is TMI for some of you. And then once you start doing that, you'll get a better understanding of why you might find those things hot or interesting. And you can start exploring some of those things in the bedroom as things that you want to try. Listen, you have to start speaking up for yourself. If you don't, nobody's going to know what you want or what you need. So the same way you please guys and give them what they want when they ask for it is the same way, the only way you'll start getting what you want and pleasing yourself is by opening your mouth and asking for it. Now that is true, not just for pineapples, but also true for the rest of your relationship as well, okay? So especially in pineapples, you really need to be knowing what it is that you need first, so that you can actually ask for the right thing. And then especially when it comes to pleasing, so that you can coach the guys on the pace and the things like that. Because guys sometimes are stunted when it comes to that. When you say, oh, right there, right there, right there, they start jackrabbiting, going way faster, or doing a whole bunch of different things than what was actually getting you there. They don't understand. That's why I say you have to explain this to men. They don't understand that when you say right there, do exactly the same thing, exactly how you've been doing it at exactly the same pace. Don't switch it up. Don't start getting all excited. Don't do nothing different. Just keep it just like that. Okay. And you literally have to explain that to the guys. Then once you explain it to them, they'll, oh, sorry, I thought you wanted me to go harder, right? Like that's what they're thinking. They're dumb. And once you explain that to them and you start coaching them on how to get you there and how to get what you want, then you'll start getting what you want. Because the reality of it is, if a guy's dating you, then he is invested in your pleasure. Sometimes he's not overtly thinking, how can I make sure to maximize her pleasure? But once you start telling him what you want or what you want to try or what you're interested in, then you can actually start getting what you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Does that make sense? I know that was TMI for some of you guys, but she asked the question, right? So I had to explain it to her in detail so she can actually get the thing. Someone says, yo, someone told him everything. Okay, next question. Let's see here. We got here Cries. Okay, Cries says ghosted. Okay, so I've been dating this guy for about a month and a half now. We know each other from high school and we are in our 40s, so I felt kind of comfortable. Okay. We went on a total of 4 dates in about 2 weeks, which was cool. We started spending time and eventually had pineapples. We talked on the phone daily. I thought this said dirty at first. We talked on the phone daily, but the dates slowed down. I never would have guessed that the dates would slow down. And communication has become dry. It's like magic. It's like magic when that happens. Terms of endearment have come to a halt. Oh, interesting. The last time we spent together was at his house. Coincidence. Last Thursday, so it's been a week. The weird thing is the last time we spoke was Monday. He hasn't been answering my calls. He hasn't been answering my calls and half butted responding to text. I alluded to him. I was bothered by that. He texted me yesterday morning. He sensed I felt a way about us not talking, and I replied, not exactly. Later on that night, I asked him if we were still dating. Wow, you actually asked him that. You actually asked him that. And he replied, yes, we are. How old are you? Today, I still haven't gotten a call. This is crazy because why would he say we're still dating only to continue communication? Sorry, did I read your age right? Huh? Okay. Update. I tried to talk to him later on, and he said, although he's not totally disinterested, he feels that I'm boring. He feels like we are too alike in some ways. It reminds me of a show you did and mentioned when guys think you're cool, that's not good. Chill. That's what I meant. That's what I said, right? Chill. When the guys think you're chill, that's not good. How do I regain his attraction and attention? Cries. This is going to make you cry. But you've already made a lot of the mistakes that would lead to him being uninterested in you. This whole, are we still dating? I know why you asked it, but I need you to understand how much of a position of weakness you put yourself in when you're asking a man that you're seeing, are we still dating? As if to almost imply, do you still like me? Do you still find me interesting or fascinating? It's not, it's never good. And any response he gives still puts him in a position where he says to himself, well, I make the decisions here. She's seeking my validation. She's seeking my approval. So whatever I want goes. And to be honest with you, I find her boring. And so I'm not going to talk to her because I don't feel like it. It's just very, this is the thing. I always tell you, guys are the most interested in the girls who give them the most anxiety. And you're not giving him any anxiety. He knows you want to talk to him every single day and every single second. And he knows you're desperate for his validation every single day and every single second. He knows you would love to be in a relationship with him and you have no issues. If he says, let's date tomorrow, you have no issues. He has no uncertainty when it comes to you. Okay? And it just, when he says that you're boring, that means he has no leftover desire for you. So the only thing left for you to do, you've already slept with him. So you've removed a lot of the intrigue there just by doing that. So at this point, all you can do now is take your ball and go home. So what I mean by that is stop texting him, stop messaging him, stop everythinging him. Don't block him, but just stop everythinging him. Don't watch his stories, mute him. Don't watch his stories. Don't do nothing with him. Don't open his TikTok videos that he sends you. Don't open the reels that he sends you, nothing. And let's see if he actually, in that space that you give him, actually grows some interest in you and says to himself, hey, why are you not talking to me anymore? Do you not like me anymore? Do you not find me interesting? And let's see if that can actually trigger him starting to chase after you a little bit. Here's the thing though, if he does message you and ask you what's going on, why do you not like him? Why do you not want to talk to him anymore? I want you to continue making him feel like you're disinterested in him. I don't want you to tell him, hey, I'm not talking to you because you said you're not ready for a serious relationship. And just say, honestly, I just you're kind of boring, me too, right? And I'm not interested in you that much anymore as well. Right? And just leave it at that. And see if that triggers his insecurity that he starts to try to be more interesting to you. Now, here's the key though. You can never make him feel that security ever again. Never. Because the moment you go back to making him feel that security, like he's the best thing since sliced bread, he'll think you're boring again. Right? And so cut off the texting. Cut off the everything. Let's see if he chases after you. In my honest opinion, cries. It's going to make you cry. I think he probably won't. You probably won't. He slept with you already. He got what he needed to get from you, and he's known you since high school. So he probably knows more about you than the average guy, at least. And I just think he probably doesn't care anymore, just to be honest with you. But in the event that it did happen, that would be the strategy. But most likely he won't contact you after this, and you're probably going to be better served just moving on with your life. Okay. So that's the show for today. If I didn't answer your question, don't fret. I will answer your question on tomorrow's show where we'll have more discussions and we'll hop into the Discord once again. If you didn't get a chance to send in your question and you're on TikTok, just go into the link in my bio where you can submit your question there. Or if you're on YouTube, you can go down into the link in the description at the bottom and you can submit your question right there in the link in the description in the relationship advice section. Don't post your question in general chat. General chat is for general chat. We have a lot of people in the Discord now. General chat's for general chat. Relationship advice section is for your relationship advice that you want from me. Okay. Someone said, what time? Tomorrow I will be on at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not your time zone, my time zone. Okay. So you got to figure out what time it is when it's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. For those of you who want to follow me on Instagram because you love me so much and you want to see more about me, you want to learn more about me, you want to see everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, my Instagram is right on top of my head and the top left for you there if you want to do that. And you're on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, it's right at the bottom here. If you want to follow me on Instagram, see everything I do every day and scroll through my entire profile. Nosy people, right? And if you are on a TikTok and you want to watch the rest of the show, maybe you missed part of it or you want to see all the other shows that I've had in the past. Someone said my full name in the chat. You guys are funny. You guys be researching me. And you want to see all the past shows that I've done in the past, go over to my YouTube, just type in my name, or you can screenshot this and type in my name. It's right on the top right of my head on the screen there. And you can go find my YouTube channel and you go in the live section and you'll see this entire live stream along with every live stream I've ever done in the past with the TikTok and the YouTube live chat embedded in the video there. So you'll be able to follow along with all of the conversation that we're having there. Okay. So that being said, that is the show for today. If you want to join me tomorrow, like I said, I'll be back 4 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, hasta la vista, au revoir, goodbye, arrivederci. I will see you tomorrow, right on time at 4 p.m. Eastern. I love you so much, and I will see you later. I see you later.